Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Rochester Rotary October 6th live and Zoom meeting. My name is Ron Lichtel. I serve as your club president. Would you all please stand and give the Pledge of Allegiance?
Just, you're there. I don't know what you can do.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have our piano player back. Let's give her a round of applause.
Do you want to go out?
All right, we're going to sing God Bless America.
Just hang it off. It's radio preview.
It won't go. Maybe we can do this.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide
Back with it.
with the light from the mountain to the prairie,
Come back.
to the ocean, white with gold. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
None of it.
God bless America, my home, sweet home. You may all be seated and start eating, but before we start eating, we're going to say the four-way test.
Do you want to go out?
Sit down. Don't give me a hard time. Sit down.
Yes, you can stick with this.
No.
Of the things we think, say, or do. You can sit down saying this. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Certainly go, Frank. Would you like to come on up here? We were told you got to use the mic. I can do that.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, thank you for bringing us together as Rotarians on this beautiful afternoon. We ask that you continue to bless our club and strengthen us to live our lives and everything we think, say, and do in accordance with the tenets of our four-way test. We ask you to further guide us to provide service above self by sharing our time, talent, and treasure with those who are less fortunate than us in our community, in our nation, and around the world. Today, we especially ask for your blessings on all those who suffer from the coronavirus, and in particular, our President and First Lady. Please wrap your healing arms around them and grant them comfort and a speedy recovery. Lastly, please bless the conversations around the table to allow them to lead to better friendships and avenues of service. We thank you for the meal we are about to share and ask you to bless the good people who work so hard to prepare it for us every Tuesday. Amen.
Amen. I'm about ready to dance. Marty, you want to say something real quick?
I know you do.
All right.
Bill Ebinger called me last night, and he said Diane's doing real well, and she was really upbeat. But we've got a park cleanup on October 24th at 9 o'clock. That's what we do every fall, and we need just a few people to sign up. I have this, I can pass it around. Turn rake and gloves, and it'll really help support Bill. He's worked really hard on keeping that project up or that park in shape. So, thank you. Compliment him for that, by the way. He does a lot of work.
Any guests on Zoom, please make sure to go on the Zoom chat and sign up so that we, Stuart Signer can acknowledge your interest. The 15th person to get their temperature taken was Sharon Rinke, so no fines for Sharon. Happy Bucks. You got any happy bucks today?
On October 6th, 1956, Claire and I got married, so 64 years.
We can't see you.
I don't know if you, those of you that follow Facebook, but Brian Barnett with his tour last week at Innovation Codes, they put together a great video welcoming the Rotary Club. And if you haven't seen it, take a couple of minutes and take a look at it. It's about 3 minutes long. Great job, Brian. Hats off to you. Thank you.
I don't have to.
Christine Haig has been making masks and donating the proceeds to Neighborhood House. And I just want to say thanks to Christine for all her hard work and to all of our Rotarians for supporting. So far, we've raised $300.
You're next.
I'm happy to announce that after 20 years of living out on the lake in Lakeville, we've now moved into a condo here closer to town. But what really makes me happy is a couple of Rotarians that really helped in the move. George Crozer, who I don't think is here, Kerry Riggs, and somebody called Greg Schaefer lended a lot of help in the move. So special thanks to those folks.
Greg did have a choice. Anybody else?
Our youngest daughter, Kathleen, is getting married this Saturday. So it'll be our last of our three. So we're excited. A little bit different arrangements than what was planned, but nonetheless, it'll be a great addition to the family. So we're excited about that. I've got two happy bucks. I guess a lot of you got an email from probably one of my sons showing all the fish that we caught off of San Diego. Just a whole Facebook thing. One of my sons, Bo, is just really active in that, and he sent all this picture. We all limited out on mahi-mahi and yellowtail and just a huge number. We're picking them up from Metro Airport this Thursday, all packaged and frozen and stuff. The other happy buck is that one of my other sons was featured in Our magazine this last week. So if you've got to get an Our magazine, he'll be in that one.
I actually have a sad happy buck. I was one of 4 siblings, a younger brother and 2 older sisters. And unfortunately, in the last couple of days, I've lost both sisters within 6 months. So.
Sorry to hear that.
I don't know.
Oh, well, that's I was the sheriff last week. All right, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later. Crap, that's bad news. I have a $20 happy buck. Last week at the event that we held at Innovation Hills, where so many Rotarians came. First of all, thank you for coming to the park. Thank you for staying. Thank you for doing the tour. One generous Rotarian came up to me afterwards and made a tremendous donation to the park, which was fantastic. And it's the spirit of Rotary that I love so much. And that certainly wasn't the reason we had folks out there, but to be able to tell the story and to see it connect with someone and for someone to give so generously was huge. So on behalf of the city of Rochester, we're very, very grateful for that. And hope that you come back often. And then on a personal note, I left an invitation on a lot of your desks. I have one fundraiser a year for being mayor of Rochester Hills. It's coming up on Thursday. Thank you to all the Rotarians who've already signed up, contributed, and are coming. If you haven't, there's still opportunity to do it. Hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks.
And if you are doing some of those factors, being with us again today, and a second visit, and talking about going, so make sure you introduce yourself to them and welcome them. All right, Tim, you want to introduce our guest?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the greatest club on earth. Let's see. David Schellenbarger is here.
returning visiting member from past member. Good to see you, David. And then Joe Patel. I think this is maybe the third time you've been here, so welcome. Welcome one and all to Rochester Rotary. Thank you. All right, we had one birthday that's actually on October 8th, which is Mr. David Early. That's all set up for today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear David. Happy birthday to you. $5, please. Club anniversaries, we didn't have any this week, so we'll get right into the announcements. Steve Ayler, you wanted to make a quick announcement? I mean, quick. Our times are a lot tighter than what they used to be before COVID.
Hey, on everybody's table and hopefully on the Zoom, John can share the sign-up sheet. We've got an opportunity to get some fundraisers started here. It's hard to tell what's happening with the COVID shutdown lock-in. It's kind of things are happening. Maybe we have some latitude, maybe we don't. But regardless, we need to have people involved with our fundraising opportunities. So on the sheet are a list of things that are planned fundraisers as well as potential fundraisers. We have poinsettia sales coming up. We're ready to kick that team off. So if you're interested in being part of the poinsettia team, please sign your name up. I'll come around and collect these sheets, and we'll do this for about the next 2 or 3 meetings. There was an idea to do a rummage sale at Rotary Park. I think it's a great idea, but we don't have anybody actively leading that or part of that group. So if you would like to participate, put your name down. We'll organize a fundraiser of a rummage sale at Rotary Park. Pizzas for Polio is coming up here this month. I know Ernie's looking for people, so if you're interested in supporting that activity, put your name on there. The Masters raffle is going to be coming up here in the spring. So again, Tim's looking for some help. If you're interested in being involved in the Masters raffle, put a name on the list. The wine taste is tentatively still planned for Bourdines coming up. I've lost the speaker here. I don't know if, yeah, the mic's dead. So if you're interested in working the wine taste, being part of that activity, put your name down. As was mentioned, I forget, Marty, I think, made the comment, you know, we need help cleaning up Rotary Park. So sign the sheet that's going around or put your name on this piece of paper and we'll get you part of the Rotary Park cleanup. We need poinsettia drivers and we need lagniappe bell ringers. So any of those kind of activities, if you're interested. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. All right, no lagniappe bell ringers. They've canceled the event, I was just told. So please put your name on the list. We'll collect them and try to get some of these fundraisers back in motion. Thank you.
No, Mike. All right, I forwarded some information from one of our Rotarians here. Basically, it's the Rotary Foundation moment of the week. It says, what is the Rotary Foundation benefactors? Basically, they're asking people to, in your estate, donate $1,000 or outright $1,000. Basically, a $1,000 gift to the Rotary Foundation creates a legacy helping people live better lives around the world. This might be the problem.
Continuing.
Last week we had the picnic at the Innovation Hills, and a big thanks to Tim Duncan and Mayor Brian Barnett and his whole staff. It was a great day. Let's give a round of applause for them. Mr. Ron DeLittle, you had a little bit of a 3 minutes.
Depends on the membership.
We don't care about your depends.
Yeah, it does. It all depends. Step aside, Ron. As mentioned last week, we had a great visit to Innovation Hills Park, and so it's a perfect, introduction to what I need to bring to you today from the Charities Board. It has become tradition now that when we have a large grant proposal approved by the Board of Charities, that we bring that grant proposal to the membership for a vote. Last summer, the board approved and we put into our budget plan a multi-year $30,000 donation to Innovation Hills Park, working with the people there to brand, as you probably heard last week, a pavilion in the newly being built playground area that has the mimic of Clinton River in it and going to be handicap accessible, etc. So that pavilion will be branded as the Rotary Pavilion. So it kind of goes along with Rotary Park in the village. It goes along with, if you go down the Clinton River Trail, you'll find a Rotary sponsored, but we don't maintain it anymore, but sponsored originally, lookout over the river. And now with this new innovative park, the Charities Board felt that it was appropriate for us to make our mark again and make a capital contribution to the park. Now we know money's tight, but I have it that we're going to have a bunch of fundraisers and all that, so we'll be generating that. We also have some funds available to us at the moment. We're being very restrictive on grants, at least this year, until we see some of the fundraisers come about, like Poinsettia. And the intent is to make the first contribution to the park sometime in the spring. The way that works is we have a memorandum of understanding that we'll sign. The money is actually put in the Rochester Community Foundation and then brought out from the foundation by the city as appropriate. The City Council may match our gift kind of thing as well, so our 30 will end up being 60. And Ethan has agreed to go after district grants, the maximum of which could be $2,500 a year. And if we get that, we'll also put that into the donation that we make. So I don't need a motion from you because this is a board motion. The board has made this motion and passed it to make this donation. So I bring to you a board motion to make a contribution to Innovation Hills Park. So I call a membership meeting of the Rochester Rotary Charities. Jeff, do we have a quorum? We have a quorum. Now, the motion is to make this multi-year, 3-year donation to the park, $10,000 a year. So discussion. Okay, thank you. I assume that means you're going to vote yes. Hooray. Question. Yes, sir.
How large of an emblem are we allowed?
I don't know yet, but be happy to have your advice on it. I don't think.
No, ask the mayor.
I say 6 feet minimum.
thank you. I didn't know the answer to your question, so thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We had a second.
All right. Without further discussion, I'd like to bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Passed. Now I have, this may not work at city council, but anyways. Yeah, one last thing, one second thing. October is polio month with Rotary. The fight against polio has gotten exceptionally challenging with COVID, with vaccination issues and things of that nature, people trying to get out and do vaccinations of kids, etc. But wild polio virus only exists with maybe less than 200 cases year to date in 2 countries. One country is Pakistan and one country is Afghanistan. There are some non-wild polio cases in some other countries that you may have heard of that come because of the vaccines, a live vaccine that they're giving, and so some people get mild cases. The board also, the charities board, in working with the foundation chair, we also made a vote to request a voluntary contribution from all Rochester Rotarians to the polio fund. And so I will send you an email asking you for a voluntary donation. Like in all those political campaigns, a $50 donation is recommended. But that shouldn't stifle you if you want to do more. And it's certainly any amount would be very much appreciated. So when I send out the letter, you can then send a check or whatever to Vince. We're not going to bill you like every Rotarian every year. We're just going to ask you for a donation. Whatever money's donated will go to the Rotary International Polio Fund. They're trying to get $50 million this year to be matched by Bill Gates to fund the continued vaccine activities. Interesting little tidbit if you read the Rotary magazine. Rotary has helped train in many countries trackers. Because if somebody got polio, they would immediately go out and track where that person lived, test water, things of that nature. These countries have, like Nigeria, you read the article, has like 12,000 illness trackers. Originally started by Rotary and the health, the World Health Organization, et cetera. They've been using those people now for COVID, to track people with COVID and help people avoid getting, having it spread. That's where some of this $50 million goes. It's not just the vaccine itself. So if you see it in your heart to contribute to this war on this virus, please do. And I'll send you that email, letter, et cetera, sometime in the middle of the month. Thank you. I now turn back the program to you and adjourn the charities.
Are you running for politics? Oh. Rotarian of the Week last time was John Somerville. So, John, who are you going to give this great gift to?
I'm going to give it to Stuart.
Wow.
Straight to the point. For manning the door, checking everybody's temperature, the brave man.
Okay, and I want to bring up our illustrious sheriff, Mayor Brian Barnett.
Well, the good news is I had no idea I was sheriff until about 11 minutes ago, so most of you will be okay, except the person who just yelled, stand up. Who is that? Was that you? $500. Stuart, you won the, it's not really like a back and forth kind of thing. You just won the Rotarian of the Week, right?
Yes, I did.
You think you earned it?
Yes, I
You
did.
manned the door? Tell your kids about that, really, very impressive. $5, you're still talking. Yeah, honestly, I didn't. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to ever, disrespect the president, especially after being the recipient of a very nice grant from Rotary. But I'm pretty sure it's not my week. So, It's my week, I guess. John Somerville. I've been a pretty good Rotarian. You didn't give me the award. $5. I don't know. Turn around and look at Mark Tisdale. He's been a good Rotarian. Why don't you give him the award? Hey, if you've seen a commercial or gotten anything from Mark Tisdale in the mail, it's $5. CNN is Dr. Sanjay Gupta in between commercials of Mark Tisdale right now is basically what CNN is. Jerry Carvey, it's your 64th anniversary. Nice of you to bring your wife today. Clara's at home doing what? Just enjoying the past 64 years thing. This is how we make it. This is the secret. Eat separately. If you are the only woman at your table, or a couple tables like that, it's $5 for every man who got the privilege to sit with you. And to the two ladies wearing red blazers, Phil and Julianne, that's $10. $5. If your name is Tate or Timo, I don't know. What do you think, $5? $5. Tim Crawford did not give me the finger today, which is pretty cool. Bob Lytle did not release. True. Bob Lytle did not release a book yet today, have you? Slacking, $5. Have we reached 1,000 yet? How much do we have to go? How many of you enjoyed Cider Donuts so far this year? Anybody? Really? I'm always proud of this fact, but Yates Cider Mill is the oldest business in the city. A lot of people think it's Sheldon's dealership. That's probably number 5, but Yates Cider Mill wasn't a cider mill. It opened up as a mill, of course, at first. And anybody know who the president was when Yates Cider Mill started operating on the exact property it sits today? Van Buren. Say it out loud. It's Abe Lincoln, Mr. President. 1863. 1863 was the year that Yates Cider Mill started operating. We can get our city's oldest business. There's a little fun fact. So if you enjoyed cider donuts, it's $3. If you haven't, it's $5. If I've missed you, it's $5. If you're sitting in the shade, it's $5. If you're sitting in the sun, it's $5. If you've already voted, it's $5. If you hadn't voted, it's $5. If you have never voted, it's $100 because that's dumb. Thank you all. I don't really have much today. I did not know today was my day as sheriff. But Stuart, it's another $100 because I don't like you and you're close. I'm just going to add them into anybody else want to say anything? Anybody else have any comments? Obviously, all goes to charity. Thank you guys for doing it. Please contribute at least $5 today to help us make up some of the misses that we've had over the past few months. Good to see everybody. Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking for Tim Duncan.
Right here, Ron. Can you hear me? So, good afternoon, Rotarians. Today it is my pleasure to introduce Miss Jenny Brown. Jenny Brown is the CEO and co-founder of Dutton Farm and Everybody Inc., a nonprofit and social enterprise that work to remove barriers to community access and inclusion in the workforce. She founded Dutton Farm in honor of her sister, who was born with Down syndrome and struggled as an adult to find a place to put her many talents to use. She has spent the last decade relentlessly and fearlessly advocating for the rights and equal opportunity for adults with developmental disabilities. Her work was instrumental in building Dutton Farms from 5 people and an annual budget of $25,000 in 2010 to 100 people and an annual budget of $1.2 million in 2019. She has supported individuals in entering their workforce, volunteerism, community engagement, and higher education. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Jenny Brown.
Good afternoon. Can you all hear me? I can't see anyone. But hopefully.
We hear you. Hear you. Hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Just a little bit of feedback. Hang on, Jenny.
Yeah, there's a lot of feedback.
Keep going. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so hopefully the feedback is gone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for a few minutes of your time today. I know you all end at 1 and have busy lives to get back to, so I won't take too much of your time. But I always enjoy spending the hour or two every so often with the Rotarians and a nice lunch. So I am the CEO of Dutton Farm. I can't see anything on my screen, so hopefully what's going on the other end is working. And if you see like something flash behind me, probably one of my kids' virtual learning. They're like all around the screen right now because they have a zillion kids. So we founded Dutton Farm in 2010. I think it was Tim that did the introduction. Thank you for that kind introduction. In honor of my sister, who has Down syndrome, and the goal was to set her up with something meaningful to do. She graduated high school, and kind of her life just stopped. And I graduated high school and moved on to college. I played college basketball, and kind of like, you know, the world is your oyster, whatever you want to do. And it was different for people with developmental disabilities. And so I got to the point where I wanted to set her up with something meaningful and purposeful to do every day. And I started learning this world of nonprofit. And again, I'll say, hopefully you can see kind of what the mission is on the screen. I don't have access to what the slide is, so I can't move my way through it. But wanted to set her up with something meaningful to do every day. And as I started to learn this world of nonprofit and the need for adults with developmental disabilities and really what they faced, I fell in love with the people. They changed my life. I fell in love with work, and I knew that I could never do anything else. And so I started to explore this world and what it looked like and how my nonprofit could really add value to community that already existed and the supports that were being given. I really started to understand what the statistics were. And there's lots of different statistics out there for the unemployment rate, but for adults with developmental disabilities, we're really talking about an 85% unemployment rate. So there's a difference between a physical disability and a developmental disability. So folks with Down syndrome, autism, and other developmental disabilities face an 85% unemployment rate. They're 3 times as likely to be bullied in the workplace, or 5 times as likely, 3 times as likely to live below the poverty line. Over 2 million Americans with developmental disabilities never leave their homes. And I think this is statistics when we're talking about, you know, the diversity, equity, and inclusion conversation that has grown quite popular over the last few years, rightfully so, as it should be. Many times the issues and the challenges that people with developmental disabilities face are not given adequate attention. There's my screen. Awesome. So as we started to learn what the issues were on a broader scale beyond just what my sister faced, and my sister just kind of was a microcosm of what the broader issues were, we started to really figure out who we were, what we did, what our core competencies were, and what was important to us in which problems we really wanted to solve. And so our mission became really to removing barriers to opportunity, bottom line. But we were doing that through empowering people to have the opportunity for higher education, to have the opportunity to obtain employment, to have the opportunity to access their communities, and have agency in the workplace, and to be able to participate in the greater economy that they had been left out of for so long. And so we started to really dive into how do we create a plan, a strategic plan, and really measure the progress that we were making. And so it's difficult, it's challenging, it's not for the faint of heart for sure, but it is so gratifying to see somebody that enrolls in our program that has had a lot of negative experiences, and then start to believe in themselves, start to formulate opinions about the world around them and just life in general, and then start to really dream about what they want to do, and then makes progress towards achieving that dream. So a quick story, check my time here. I was working with a gentleman who was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and a cognitive impairment. His name is Marty, and he was one of our very first participants to enroll in our program. And he was kind of what really got us on track for developing our workforce development program. And I think our workforce development program is so important because there's so much we as neurotypical individuals take for granted. Just even things as simple as our reputational equity and being able to have access to tech school or college or previous employment that helps us to get to that next level towards whatever we want to achieve. And so this gentleman wasn't afforded any of these things. And so he wanted a job so bad. He wanted to earn a paycheck. He wanted to feel like he was a part of a team. He wanted economic independence. And we really struggled finding him employment. And so what we decided to do after a particularly long 4 months of struggle and not finding him a job was to create our own. And so we started a social enterprise. And at the time, I really didn't know what we were doing was social entrepreneurship. But we started a high-end line of natural beauty products for a couple of reasons. Beauty products have amazing margins, and so you can build a profitable business with a strong social impact component because there's many times a significant margin that you're working with and creating opportunity that way. And so he went from becoming my first employee and learning kind of the soft skills necessary to then becoming recruited by one of the biggest medical supply chains in the state, and supporting him journey is what really helped us understand the power in giving somebody agency with their government through paying taxes, and now that they have a voice because they're paying taxes and really communicating what they care about, and economic independence, and how much more powerful we could be in moving that needle towards equity and inclusion through giving work and access to training and community and building relationships. And so that's really what we dove into. But the reason that we developed the nonprofit that we have and all of the work we've put in over this last decade is because of those statistics that I was referring to. And this is 2020. So we're facing 2 million people not able to leave their homes, 85% unemployment rate, 5 times as likely to be bullied in the workplace in 2020. So we're hosting this really important event. It's a virtual event, but it celebrates the progress we have made as a community, state, nation, but it also brings awareness and educates people on where we've come from in the days of institutionalization, in the days where it was illegal to have your child with a disability even seen in public. You could be arrested because it made people uncomfortable. The days when there was no special education, how Special Olympics was formulated and how game-changing it was that a person was identified previously as disabled or handicapped and is now an athlete, and how that was game-changing in the dignity and empowerment of people with disabilities. And it takes you along that journey, and it also it educates and brings awareness to this diversity and equity and inclusion conversation that I think is going to add a lot of value to companies, HR departments, and just children. And oh shoot, I'm getting a phone call. There we go, I'm back. I lost the screen for a second there. And just individuals in general, just to educate yourself and becoming more aware of our history, the progress that we've made, and how we can really work together to be a more inclusive community and human beings. And then we also will touch on kind of how far we have to go, what our plans are as a nonprofit that's located right here in Oakland County. We're just a couple miles north, I think, of where you guys are at Rivercrest off of Dutton Road. And really the leadership role we're taking in the county and at the state level, and oftentimes at the national level. There's been several times where we've been given a national platform to lead the way in thinking differently about how we recruit and onboard talent and how we live more inclusively just in our daily lives. So I hope that we can at least share the screen. Again, I don't have access to the screen, so I apologize about the slides and not being able to follow the slides because I couldn't see which slide we were on. But there is a final screen that showcases the event, the event details, and I think it would be really great to have at least that. So if you're interested, it's very cost effective. It's only $20-25 and an hour and a half of your time, and is extremely valuable to you as a person, your company, if you're involved in a company or own a company or lead a company. I would highly encourage you to participate. 101, right on time. And if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, John, for running back and forth. Go ahead. Yeah, the restrictions, I'm told by Nino, are lowered as of October 9th. So he was asking if we wanted to come in today, and which is ahead of time. And I said, no, let's go ahead and stay. If we can do it another 1 or 2 weeks, and then we'll move inside when the restrictions are down. So next week you might have a sweater or something. Anything else? Meeting adjourned.
All right, good deal. Thanks very much, everybody.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you guys too. We'll get this right someday.
Yes.
Oh. Alan, well, I talked to him yesterday and was asking him, he said he doesn't know if he's going to have it.
So what we were doing is like we did back to school, just getting all the presents together and having volunteer and then sending it off to the people. And I talked to Kathy about it. I told her I talked to you and sending it. And then I can go around and play it out.
I would really like to have it. In other words, Rochester to do it, Rotary. But I mean, that's up to you and whoever. Yeah. Neighborhood house usually supplies the names and their contact info, when to be here, and Santa Claus is moi. And to me, it's fine if they want to do it over at neighborhood house. I mean, you talk with.
How they came to your bag, I think they were looking at doing something more like that, so they could pick up, whatever. Yeah. And I think that should maybe having like pictures of us,
At neighborhood house. Yeah. Okay. Talk with Alan McClellan, whatever you guys decide. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
The thing is, like, I have no way